Every device or document that you want to manage within versiondog is organized into their own component. The project tree organizes all these components into folders and subfolders that are defined and named by you to best represent your organizational structure. If you have 100 PLCs, 100 robots, and 100 documents you want to manage in versiondog, you'll have at least 300 components in your tree, one for each of those things. Here on the right is the component list. When you select the folder from the project tree on the left, you will see a list of the components that are in that folder and its subfolders. Many organizations realize the importance of using a program like versiondog to help organize, store, and track changes to their projects, but they're also concerned with how much complexity it'll add to their daily tasks. We've taken great care in designing the interface to help you quickly see the state of things without having to spend a lot of time reading stuff to get that information. This allows you to quickly navigate the system to find the information you need without adding additional complexity to your workday. You can quickly see which items have not been checked out because they'll still be in gray in the project tree. Once checked out to work on, they won't be gray anymore. You can also quickly see the same information within the component list here on the right because those items that have been checked out will have a green check mark and those that have not will have a red no sign. Within the component list, we can quickly see things like the name we've given the component, the type of component it is, any lock state that it's in, and what versions you have locally versus the version that's still sitting on the server. If you want to see a version and backup job details from a specific component, you can select it from the project tree on the left or double-click on the component in the list on the right. In this example, it's a TIA portal project. You can see how many versions have been created so far, who created them, and why. You can see a list of the changes between the version you have selected above and its previous one, along with any notes entered by the operator for each of those changes they made in the project. Thus, you can quickly see a history of your version changes, who made them, why they were made, when they were made, and notes about those changes. A list of those changes is nice, but maybe you want to actually see the project details between the two versions through a detailed compare. Within versiondog, you can compare any two versions, even if they are not checked out or in succession. When we compare two versions, we'll have a list of all the changes that were made to the project listed here in the pane on the left. We can step through each of the changes and see notes about why the change was made, and then a detailed compare of the change between the two different versions here in the bottom right pane. We have smart compares built in for most manufacturers, and what this means is that in most all cases you'll be able to compare any two versions in the system, and this includes detailed compares of ladder logic, code changes, things like recipes from a SCADA system, or even tag changes. Here is an example of a detailed compare for some code changes for a TIA portal project. Again, all the changes in the project are listed on the left, and then the notes about the detailed compare is shown at the top. You can hit Next and step through each one of the changes made and see notes about those changes. And here is an example of some code changes in an iFix SCADA system project. You even have the ability to compare two documents, things like Word, Excel, PDF, and ASCII-based files. This is an example of a compare of two versions of a CAD drawing stored in versiondog as a PDF plan. If you are creating things like engineering diagrams of your plant devices, infrastructure, network topology, cable layouts, or cabinet drawings in CAD, you can manage and document each version change within versiondog. You can even compare those two document versions to see the differences like is being done here. This, of course, would be readily available for viewing at any time in the future. Just like having the Change History tab to show you all the version history of a device, you also have a Jobs tab that shows you any backup jobs you have scheduled for that device and the history of the results. For the Siemens PLC, we have a job scheduled to run every day at 1 a.m. along with other details we have configured for this job. In the bottom, we can see a history of all the backup results. When versiondog goes out at 1 a.m. to back up this device, it will compare the backup of the code that it gets from the device with the version that is sitting in versiondog and will notify you if they are the same or different. This is important because they should be the same, and if not, one of the two locations is out of date and you need to determine why that is. Not only is this important in the scope of making sure code is getting updated properly in both locations, but as an added benefit for security in case someone makes a malicious change to a device. During the backup and compare, we can help catch this. If you want to make changes to a project, you can simply check it out to work on. During the checkout process, you would also set your lock state and then hit checkout. You would then hit the Open with Editor button on the menu bar, and versiondog will open your editor and load the project so you can work on it just like you do today. Once you make your changes to the project and close out your editor, versiondog will know that the project has been edited and show you that by placing a pencil icon next to the component. You could go to lunch, come back, hit Open with Editor and keep working. Come back a couple of days later and hit Open with Editor and also keep working. The next step would be to click on Create New Version. You'll see the first change that you made visually, like you see here, and can then add your notes about that change. Hit Next and go to the next one to add notes for it. Once done, you can check it back into the server as a new version, and others will now be able to see your changes and even do a detailed compare if necessary. You also have the option of checking out to provide to a third-party partner to work on independent of versiondog. After they make their changes and provide them back to you, you can easily check in their work and see a compare of what they did against what you gave them. This makes it very easy to manage and document changes made by your third-party partners. versiondog has an admin client that allows you to manage your server with all sorts of options, but also where you go to set up your automated backup jobs for a device. Within the Job section, you can simply drag and drop a component from the project tree to start the configurator. You can then step through each of the options shown on the right to set up the backup job as you see fit. Just like in the user client, you can also see jobs results here in the bottom area. You can also get access to job results by email, report client, or web client. If you have any questions or would like to learn more, we have several sources of information available. We're also more than happy to schedule a WebEx to discuss and show you a live demonstration of versiondog. We can also assist you with setting up a test pilot of the product to see how it performs in your plant. Let us know how we can assist or what next steps you would like to take.